Hi guys, thanks for joining me. So in today's video, I want to be talking about what minimalist training is and why I think a minimalist training approach is perfect for beginners. So straight away from the get-go, I want to dispel the idea that minimalist training just means everything is less. The idea of minimalist training is to do everything in less time or less energy, less sets, less volume, less exercises. Like, that isn't the goal. The goal of minimalist training is you still have a goal. That is the key principle. But you pick what is going to get you to that goal, what's essential, what's important, and if it helps you reach that goal, that is your goal. Anything else is excess. Exercise, we seem to do it. If we have any other job in our life, we always try and find the most efficient way to do a job, whether it's changing, a battery in a car, to doing other things with your car, to doing stuff in your house, building work. We try and find the most efficient way to do it. We not so much cut corners, but we try and make things easier for ourselves, where we're using certain tools to other things. We try and find a way to find how we can do that job in the most efficient manner. Once we've done the job, we're done. We don't just do excess work while we're there for the sake of doing it. But why we do it for exercise, I do not know. So there's a lot of misconceptions with, like I said, with minimalist training, is the idea that it's all for the sake of doing less. Well, that's not the key principle. And I've been doing minimalist training for quite a while now, but I've done it in the past without even realizing that I've done minimalist training, because I've always had the idea of, less is more and more isn't always more. Like, some people just think more always means better. But my idea when I go to the gym is I have a goal, I have something that I'm trying to achieve for that day in that workout. I'm going to go for that, and I'm going to pick an exercise or a routine or whatever it is that's going to get me there. And once I'm done, I'm done. That old slogan of, I don't stop when I'm tired, I'm stop when I'm done. I think some people think that basically means you just keep going, and just smash yourself to bits. When really it's about training smarter. Like, I have an idea. I'm going to train until I can reach that goal. Do it as effectively and as efficiently as possible. Once I'm done, I'm done. Like, I'm not just going to kill myself or do exercises for the sake of it, thinking it's going to get me more. In the past, when I used to do a bit of barbell work, where I probably got my biggest and at my strongest, where I was about 16.5 stone, I was sort of about around 100 kilos at about 5'11". I didn't do any isolation work. I just did big, heavy compounds. Pushing days were just bench and overhead press. I think back days were literally just, at the time, it was just deadlifts and pedal rows, and I think I added in pull-ups just because I love doing pull-ups. And squat and leg day was basically just squats. And I did heavy squats, then I did some higher rep squats, maybe some front squats or some trap bar, and that was it. Really minimalist, and I got at my biggest and at my strongest. And the idea of, I look at it as minimalist, is I want to pick the best bang buck for my exercises, put all of my energy mentally and physically into those exercises, and once I've hit what I need to, I'm done. Like, you're not going to get anything magical from a fly that you're not going to get from a heavy dip or a bench press or overhead pressing. Like, there's nothing you're going to get magically from doing your front raises, your side raises, and your rear raises. They're not things that are going to make your shoulders grow. They're not going to be the ones that have the most capacity or potential to get as big and as strong as possible. You do your overhead press or you do your handstand push-up, your shoulders are going to grow from that. You don't need to be isolating everything. A thing like you have to hit everything from every different angle to make any progress. The same as people that used to do bench. A flat bench is enough. You don't need to do an incline, then a decline, then a dumbbell press, and then a fly to hit your chest. If you feel like you need to do all those exercises to hit your chest, it just shows that you weren't working hard enough or picking the right intensity or really focus on placing tension in your muscle, that you couldn't do it with the first exercise you did. The idea of that minimum effective dose, I think, is very important. Like, some people think you have to destroy the muscle to grow. Well, you don't. There's this idea that you need to just be able to stimulate enough of a stimulus in your body for your body to then make an adaptation. Well, if you can do that in, say, 3 sets or 5 sets or over 2 exercises, why would you do it over 10 or 15, 20 sets and 5 or 10 exercises? Like, do what you need to do, get it done, go home. Like, get on with the rest of your life. You don't have to be in a gym hitting everything from different angles to make progress. So my idea of a minimalist program is keep what's essential, use what works, get the job done, and then go. Don't just spend loads of time thinking more time, more sets, more work is something going to get you more progress. Train smart, not harder. This leads into why I think it's important for beginners. Well, think about it from a standpoint. If you are a beginner, what is the most important thing when it comes to you starting a gym? It's learning form, it's learning technique, and that whole idea of jack of all trades, master of none. If you're a newbie and you're trying to learn 10, 15, 20 exercises for your whole body, how quickly are you going to learn those exercises? How quickly are you going to get efficient at those exercises? It's going to take a lot longer. Focus on some key exercises. So Calisthenics wise, let's say you focus on the push-up just to start off with and think, right, if I focus time on the push-up and get really, really good at push-up, put all of my energy into that, how quickly are you going to get into that? Maybe you want to do 2 and you want to do a horizontal one. Let's say you want to work on the push-up and the pike and go, right, that's all I'm going to focus on. How fast are you going to get good at that exercise? And if you're doing lots of different ones, or if you're in the gym and you're doing all these different equipment as well, you're going to learn it a lot faster. Same with like the pull-up or the row or different things like that. You don't need to do loads of different variations and exercises to stimulate growth or to get stronger. You're more likely to get stronger if you learn and get proficient with form and technique and the movement patterns you learn with your central nervous system. This is why people, when they first join the gym, they think that they build a load of muscle because suddenly they've got really strong and the amount of weight that they can move or the amount of reps that they can do is suddenly shot up. It's not the fact that you built muscle, it's the fact that your central nervous system has got more efficient. You're using these muscles, you're learning form, your body's then just working more efficiently. Take advantage of that time. So focus on key compound exercises that are going to give you the most bang for your buck and dial down on them essential ones. Get really, really good at them. You'll build a good foundation of strength and proficiency within those key core movements that you're going to be doing that will transfer into other exercises. And from a progression standpoint, if you go from 0, not working out at all, to doing 10, 15, 20 different exercises for your whole body, you go from 0 to 100. Okay, and then once you get used to doing all these different exercises, where are you going to progress from there? Where if you were starting from a box simple, a row because you're not strong enough to do a pull-up, a push-up because you're not strong enough to do any of the other ones, and a squat or a lunge, okay? Focus with them, get really, really efficient in them. Might only take you a couple of weeks to a month to get really good at them, maybe a couple of months. Then you build up a good foundation. You think, right, now I've got really, really good at this. I'm going to then try and make them a little bit harder, make them more progressive, add weight or do harder versions of the push-ups or the rows, and then maybe use my row to then build up towards a pull-up. Keep with those 3 exercises. Very, very simple, very easy to learn. You've got 3 exercises to learn, which is going to be a lot easier for you. And then it also means in your workout, if you've got a battery that's 100%, you can then put more energy mentally and physically into those exercises as opposed to diluting all of that energy across loads of different ones. Okay, let's say you've got really, really good at that, and then you're thinking, right, I want to start adding in a little bit of vertical work, maybe some vertical pressing, whether it's an overhead press, whether it's a pike push-up, whether you've got good enough, you want to start doing rows and pull-ups and start off with pull-ups being your strength and your row being your complementary, a squat, and now you want to start maybe adding in some bridges. Fine, because you've already started with a minimalist approach, you're only adding another exercise per body part. Great. You can then use that, and as you get stronger and you go through that, if you need to, and you feel like, oh, I'm a little bit weak in I've noticed in my push-ups, I struggle with a lockout or the dip, I can get myself up, my chest feels really strong, but I can't lock out my elbows. Or maybe you're in the pull-up and there's a bit where you keep getting stuck. You're like, oh, maybe my biceps are a little bit weak, maybe my triceps are a little bit weak. How about we test and see if I add in a little bit of extra tricep work, whether that will then help me in my overall compound list, which will allow me to lift more weight or get stronger, and then it'll build me up and I can add it in and take it away as I need, but I can test it. Do it. Great. But you wouldn't have done that before if you added in all of these different exercises thinking that you need them, because you can add and take away. With there, you've started with all or nothing, and now it's like, okay, if you want to add more exercises, like it's more time, more energy, your energy is diluted, you could be in the gym for ages, or you're forced to have to split up your workout because you've got so many different exercises you've got to learn. I guess a programming standpoint, if you're new, the main key thing you want to do is progressively do better than last workout, whether it's a percent, whatever it is, do better than what you did before. That's where the adaptation is going to be coming from, progressively overloading your muscles and getting stronger. Thinking about it from especially if you're new to programming, thinking about it as, okay, if I need to focus on creating progressive overload and making sure that in every exercise, every workout or whatever, I can keep track of what I'm doing and I'm positively moving in the right direction, how much simpler is it going to be if you're only doing that 1 or 2 exercises per body part or movement than 5 or 6 different exercises? It's going to be a lot harder to create and manage your progressive overload. The other thing is, the more exercises you're going to do in a workout is you're not going to improve on every single exercise, every single workout for however long. You're going to get to a point where you might improve in your first 2 exercises, your middle ones might stall, and then your last ones might fatigue, because obviously the energy that you've grown from the strength increase, you've shown that in your first exercise and improved by a rep or 2 or adding 5 kg or whatever it is. But obviously then you've gone back down to baseline, maybe these last exercises are going to be suffering and you'll be wondering, why am I getting better in this and worse in that? Well, you can't keep progressing in every single exercise, every single workout. But if you're only doing a couple of exercises, it's going to be a lot easier to see what exercises are working, what exercises aren't, why you're struggling with one, why you're improving another. It's going to make it a lot easier to see what's going on. And from a programming standpoint, programming can be a bit of a ball ache for some people. If you don't know what you're doing, you can feel a little bit lost. And if you're not making progress and you don't understand why, this is why people then skip from one program to the other, because they feel like their program isn't working because they don't know what to do with it. Where if you keep things simple and basic with a couple of exercises, it's going to be far easier to track, create, see what's working, test other exercises to see if it will help or if it won't. As someone who's beginning, so someone who's intermediate, it's not necessary. Find out what works, hit the stimulus, and then you're done. And then you can come in and then do it again. You don't need to annihilate your muscle to be able to make progress, guys. So I hope that answers the idea of minimalist training, okay? It's not about doing less for the sake of doing less. It's, I have a goal, what do I need to be able to do it? Once I've done it, I'm done. But guys, I hope that answers the question for you, especially if you're any of you beginners out there. I do have some more minimalist videos on there if you need more information, some minimalist workouts you could possibly do. And in a future video, I'm going to talk about what minimalist training I am doing right now in 2021. So make sure that you subscribe for that. I do have some more minimalist stuff, so I'll leave them at the end of the video. They should be down here on either side, or I'll leave a card above or down below. So make sure you check them out if you need more info. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It does help the channel to grow. Subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get notified of whenever I upload. And if you have any questions, please comment down below and I'll do my best to help you out. With that out of the way, guys, I'll see you in the next video.